Town meeting day may be in the rear view mirror, but there are a lot of changes around the state to tell you about. Thanks for joining us. I'm Darren Perrin.
And I'm Kat Villanzoni. Results for local school budget votes are rolling in, and just a handful of towns shot down their local spending plan.
Channel 3's Calvin Cutler is live in our Montpelier bureau. Calvin, how did school budgets do?
Well, good evening, Darren and Kat. So far, out of about 120 school districts that submitted budgets, about 2 were shot down, Alburgh and Barre Town. Now, several towns are voting at a later date, and a handful of towns have still yet to report their results. Now, though it's worth pointing out, however, that in Barre, there was a campaign to vote down the budget because some in the community didn't think it went far enough. Education officials forecasted a 7% increase in school spending this year, in part because of inflation, mental health strains on students, special education, and staffing constraints. Voting down school budgets is not uncommon, but it gives us a sense of how taxpayers are feeling about school spending. Jeffrey Francis with the Vermont Superintendents Association says in recent years, only a handful of Vermont communities have been rejecting school budgets.
So I think by and large, we're in an era where the electorate understands the challenges that they're seeing societally and how those challenges play out in schools.
Now, the other question yesterday's vote raises is the effect on property taxes. When lawmakers come back from their town meeting day break next week, they'll begin drafting the yield bill, which sets statewide property taxes. In December, state leaders forecasted an average increase of 8.3%. But this year, we have another big surplus in the education fund to the tune of $90 million. Lawmakers will likely consider using some of the surplus to buy down property tax rates. But with pressures including PCB cleanup and infrastructure needs in schools, lawmakers will debate how to use these funds in the coming weeks.
And Calvin, what about the municipal budgets? How did those do?
Well, Kat, the Vermont League of Cities and Towns tells me that the majority of municipal budgets passed. Now, similar to schools, local budgets were also increasing this year because of staffing constraints, inflation, and other cost pressures. Now, notably, Morristown voted down their municipal budgets. Other towns turned to voters to fund new revenues to bolster property taxes. Now, the communities of Halifax, Rutland City, Stowe, Shelburne, and Londonderry gave the green light to some form of a local option tax. Kat?
Calvin, thank you.